I'm Sharon Hearn-Smith, the author of No Bake Baking. I'm here with Mummy Pages getting all set for the festive season. Now, my fruit and nutcase chocolate biscuits are foolproof little treats which are really quick and easy to make without using the oven. I pack them full of festive flavours like cranberries and orange zest and ginger to ensure they make tasty little gifts to give to family and friends. So to start off, I'm going to melt some chocolate. So I have a heatproof bowl set over a pan of now simmering water, and I'm just going to break the chocolate into the bowl to melt. Now I like to use a mix of dark and milk chocolate because the milk chocolate is just that little bit sweeter and takes the kind of bitterness off the dark, but you can use completely one or the other if you prefer. So there's kind of half and half going in there together, and just leave that to melt. And then I have lots of lovely ingredients that I'm going to mix into the melted chocolate. So I have my cranberries, dried cranberries, which are really festive. And I'm just going to chop them roughly. You don't really have to chop them because as you cut the biscuits, it will kind of cut through them. But I find if you chop them a little bit, it kind of helps to spread them a little more through the chocolate. And if you don't like dried cranberries or can't get hold of them, you could use raisins or sultanas instead. And then I have some whole almonds with the skin on. And again, I'm just going to give them a little rough chop to break them up a little bit. And again, you can use any nuts like pecans, hazelnuts. There's loads of nuts around at Christmas time, like macadamias, walnuts, whatever you fancy. Or you could do a mixture if you like, as long as it's the same weight. So give that a rough chop again. Okay, and I'm just going to pile them over here out of the way. And then I have some golden raisins. Now, like I said, you can use regular raisins if you like. These are actually quite tiny anyway, so I'm just going to pop them on there. If they're not, again, just give them a rough chop. Now, I have one of my favourite ingredients at Christmas time, stem ginger. Now, it comes like this in a little jar in syrup, in ginger syrup. So you can buy it in the supermarket or in delis. I like to use it if I chop it up and stir it through maybe mascarpone for a cheesecake. The syrup that it comes in is delicious. I like to add it to maybe some hot water for a nice little drink, or even better, a little bit of Prosecco to sweeten it up. So just give it a little rough chop. It has a really lovely kind of fiery flavour like ginger normally does, but with a bit of sweetness because it's candied. And ginger is good for colds, etc., isn't it? So these biscuits are medicinal. So just add the ginger on there. And then the final thing I need to prepare is some orange zest. So I'm just going to use a fine zester and grate that on top of everything else. So give that a good zest. And there we have all of the filling ingredients prepared. Now let me just check on the chocolate. So give that a little stir. Yep, they're melting down really nicely. Now you could also melt this in the microwave if you prefer. Just break the chocolate into a heatproof bowl again, but just blast it in 30-second hits and then give it a stir and put it back in again if not melted. It's just that it can burn quite easily in the microwave. So just check it every 30 seconds. There we go. So I'm just going to take that off the heat. Just be careful, the bowl is really hot. And this is a great recipe for kids to get involved with. Obviously not the kind of hot pan parts, but these parts now, this kind of sprinkling in and stirring, they're going to love. So put all of the ingredients we prepared into the chocolate. And then one final ingredient are my biscuits. So I like to use just a plain biscuit that are easy to pick up from the supermarket. I'm just going to break them up into the mixture. So I guess this is like a chocolate biscuit cake mixture or recipe, but with the added twist of all those yummy Christmas fruits and nuts. And then I do something kind of different to shape it in the end. So mix that all together. And when it's well combined, then I'm going to shape it. Okay, let me just clear a bit of space. And now I have a sheet of parchment paper, which I've just cut out into kind of a rectangular shape, and then just simply tip all of that mixture, which has been really nicely mixed together, out into the center, into like a sausage shape. Yum. Maybe I'll just leave a little bit in the bowl, make it worthwhile licking. There we go. And then roll it up in the parchment paper. Just pick up each side, and you want to try and get a nice kind of rounded sausage shape that's kind of even all the way down the length. And then just twist the ends closed to make sure it doesn't squirt out of the bottom, and that kind of helps shape the ends as well. And the other end. Okay, so twist the end so it looks like a Christmas cracker, and then just leave it to cool because I can still feel the chocolate is a little bit warm. And once it's cool, then pop it on a tray in the fridge for a couple of hours until set completely. Now, the great thing about this is that it can be made really far in advance, even up to 2 or 3 weeks if it's going to last in the fridge that long. So it's really handy to make ahead. So my fruit and nutcase biscuits are now set, the roll, and we're going to make them into biscuits now. And I actually took it out of the fridge about half an hour ago just to let it come to room temperature, so it's softened up a little bit to make it a bit easier to cut. So just pull off that parchment paper. Ooh, lots of like little chocolate shards for somebody there. And then I like to dip my knife in really hot water, use a long sharp knife, and then just dry it off, and that just makes sure that because the knife is hot, it will help cut through the chocolate. So just trim off the ends if you like, because they look just a little bit rough. Oh, we're starting to see into it already. It looks great. And then this should cut into about 12 biscuits. Actually, sorry, let me dip again and wipe before I cut. And cut it into about kind of centimetre biscuits. Yummy. Let me do another one. And actually, these would work really well as white chocolate biscuits also, if you didn't want to use milk and dark. Cut through, delicious, great cheats little biscuits without using the oven. So they are my foolproof, quick and easy fruit and nutcase chocolate biscuits.